So you want to build a career in cybersecurity, but you're looking at this mountain of information and have absolutely no idea where to even start. Sound familiar? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to lay out a complete roadmap to take you from total beginner to actually being job ready. All right, let's jump in. You know that feeling, like you're just lost in some kind of cyber maze? You watch one tutorial, then another, you hear about red teams, blue teams, and somehow you end up more confused than when you started. It's a super common feeling, and honestly, we're about to make that maze feel a whole lot smaller. I bet this slide hits close to home for a lot of you. You spend all this time watching videos, and then crickets. You're left thinking, okay, now what? Or maybe you've collected a few certifications, but you still don't feel like you can do anything. You send out job applications and hear nothing back. It's frustrating, and we're going to tackle every single one of these problems today. Okay, first things first, and this is, without a doubt, the most important step. Building your foundation. Seriously, think of your career like you're building a skyscraper. If that foundation is shaky, the whole thing comes crashing down. You just can't skip this part. So how much time are we talking about here? You should really block out a good 1.5 to 2 months for this. And listen, this isn't a race. The goal here is to really understand this stuff, not just memorize it for a test. Putting in the focused effort now is going to pay off big time, I promise. So what's actually in this foundation? Well, it's built on 3 main pillars. First up, networking. You got to know how data gets from point A to point B. Second, operating systems. You need to be a pro on the very systems you're supposed to be protecting. And third, scripting. This is your secret weapon for automating tasks and working smarter, not harder. Let's break them down. Pillar 1, networking. Look, you have to understand how everyone, both the good guys and the bad guys, moves around a network. That means getting familiar with things like the OSI and TCP/IP models, basically the rule books for how data travels. You need to know what IP addresses and ports are, because that's the street address for all that data, and you got to understand things like DNS, firewalls, and VPNs. This isn't just theory, it's the fundamental language of cybersecurity. Next up, operating systems. You've got to be comfortable in 2 worlds. Windows, because it's everywhere in the corporate world, and Linux, because that's what powers most of the internet and all the cool security tools. You need to get good at the command line, the CLI, because that's where the real power is. And you have to understand the basics, like file permissions, to control who gets to see and do what. Trust me, you'll be dealing with both of these every single day. And our third pillar, scripting. Now, don't panic. Nobody's asking you to become a full-blown software developer. The whole point here is to learn just enough of a language like Python or JavaScript to make your life easier. If you can grasp simple things like if-else statements and loops, you can start writing little scripts that automate boring, repetitive tasks. This skill is a literal superpower in the field. Okay, the million-dollar question. Where can you learn all this stuff for free? We've got you. If you're a Hindi or Urdu learner, check out the WS Cube Tech channel on YouTube. Their stuff is super detailed. For English speakers, Eder Siorka has this massive 11-hour cybersecurity course that is just wow. It covers everything from the ground up. Both are incredible resources to build that solid foundation we keep talking about. All right, once that foundation feels solid, it's time for step 2. You've got to specialize and practice. Look, cybersecurity is massive. If you try to learn everything, you're going to end up learning nothing. The real secret is to pick a path and just start getting your hands dirty. So what are your choices? Here are 4 of the most common entry points. First, you've got the SOC analyst. That's the blue team, the defenders. If you like being a digital detective, sifting through data for clues, this is an awesome starting point. Then there's the ethical hacker, the red team. If you get a kick out of thinking like an attacker and finding clever ways to break into things, this is your jam. Threat intelligence and forensics are a bit more advanced. It's like being a digital archaeologist, but super rewarding if you love deep dive investigations. Do a little research, see what gets you excited, and then pour your energy into that one thing. Let me say this as clearly as I can. Watching videos and reading books is not enough. The only way you're going to build real skills that an employer will pay for is through hands-on practice. It's what turns I know about this into I can do this. And here's where you get that practice. TryHackMe is fantastic for beginners. It's like a learning gym that guides you. Hack the Box is more like a real-world challenge. They give you a target and you have to figure it out. If you're leaning towards that defensive blue team role, then Blue Team Labs Online is made for you. And Over the Wire is just a fun, game-like way to get really good at the Linux command line. Pick one and just start playing. Okay, you've built the foundation, you're practicing and specializing. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, getting noticed and getting hired. Let's talk about how you turn all that hard work into an actual job offer. Okay, let's talk about certifications for a second, because this is a big one. You've probably heard this a million times, but it's true. Certifications are pretty much worthless if you don't have the actual skills to back them up. Think of a cert as a receipt, not the purchase itself. It proves you have the skill, it doesn't give you the skill. So with that in mind, here are some really solid certifications that you can get for free, or at least very cheaply, just to get your profile noticed. Google, Cisco, and IBM all have great free intro courses. And for our viewers in Pakistan, you can look into getting the Certified Ethical Hacker Cert through programs like eHunarmand, which makes it much more affordable. Ah, the classic problem, right? I need experience to get a job, but I need a job to get experience. It feels like this impossible catch-22, but I'm telling you, there is a simple, powerful way to break right out of that loop. And this is it. It's called the visibility loop. It's just 3 steps. 1, you do the hands-on practice on a site like TryHackMe. 2, you write about it. You create detailed write-ups on a GitHub profile explaining exactly how you solved each challenge. This right here is your experience. And 3, you share it. You post on LinkedIn about what you're learning, linking back to your GitHub. Suddenly, you're not just a name on a resume, you're a person with skills that recruiters can actually see. So, where are the jobs? For your first role, search for titles like SOC analyst or junior penetration tester. Use the big job sites like LinkedIn and Indeed for sure. But here's a pro tip. Don't just search for cybersecurity jobs. Be specific. A simple Google search for something like entry-level cybersecurity jobs in my city can uncover jobs from smaller companies you'd otherwise miss. And here's the tip that will make you stand out from the 100 other people applying. Don't just hit that easy apply button and walk away. Go on LinkedIn, find the recruiter for that company, and send them a short, polite message saying you applied. And here's the key. Include the link to your GitHub profile. Show them your work. It's a total game changer. As we wrap up, just remember this one thing. Getting into cybersecurity is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're going to have days where you feel stuck. That's normal. Just be patient, stay consistent with your practice, and keep making your work visible. Consistency is everything. So, there you have it. That's the map. The plan is laid out, the resources are there. The only real question left is, what's your first step going to be?